Meg podcast has not gone down well. Experts. Meg cries bitterly as TalkTV guests savaged her podcast. Meghan Markle's new podcast, Archetypes, was savaged by TalkTV guests who branded the Duchess of Sussex tone deaf in a fierce debate. Meghan Markle has sparked a frenzy after releasing the first installment of her podcast, Archetypes, on Spotify. The Duchess of Sussex interviewed tennis superstar Serena Williams in the opening episode where they discussed ambition and feminism. The podcast was the subject of debate on Tuesday's installment of the talk, where panelists branded it a cringe fest as well as utter drivel. Meghan has claimed the podcast series, which has taken 2 years to make, will allow listeners to hear the unfiltered version of herself. She said, "People should expect to hear the real me in this, and probably the me that they have never gotten to know, certainly not in the past few years where everything is through the lens of the media. I am just excited to be myself and talk and be unfiltered. Yeah, it's fun." As the clip of Meghan speaking on the podcast was aired on The Talk, host David Bull's guests were seen shaking their heads. The panel included James Max, Mike Graham, Esther Krakow and Penny Smith, who were left in complete silence before another segment of the podcast was played. They heard a part of the recording where Meghan said, "I never heard a negative connotation around the word ambitious until I started dating my now husband, and apparently ambition is a terrible, terrible thing, for a woman, that is, according to some." The silence was deadly as the panel looked baffled by Meghan's words in the clip before Esther admitted she's rarely speechless. "I think the cringe is like giving me a heart attack," the broadcaster admitted. James called the podcast a cringe fest, adding, "It's one of the worst things I have ever heard, it's utter drivel. It's appalling." Mike raged, "We are talking about lawlessness in this country and people can't afford to eat, and she is going to tell you, you can write your own future. Well, so what? I don't care, I want them to leave me alone. Don't give me your CY views, I don't want to hear." James continued to attack the podcast episode, which he branded tone deaf. "I am all up for ambition, by the way. I don't care who you are. I love people who want to achieve things and succeed. I love people to reach their full potential, but you are not going to do that by listening to this drivel," James fumed. "Seriously, it's appalling and it's tragic." Despite the backlash, journalist Penny said she felt the podcast would be a huge success. "Do you all listen to the Kardashians? No? Well, they are successful, that is what I am saying," she exclaimed to the rest of the panel. Meghan Markle's new Archetypes podcast has not gone down well. Experts and commentators. Now Daily Star readers have weighed in on Twitter with their thoughts on the controversial first episode featuring tennis legend Serena Williams. It was divulged yesterday that the debut episode, launched on streaming platform Spotify, actually had Meghan speaking for 1.5 times more than her guest, which was labelled by critic Daniela Elzer as a dud. Australian TV host Ali Langdon said that it is something that gives Meghan another way to talk about herself. The podcast was the first part of an £18 million deal Meghan and husband Prince Harry signed with the streaming giants in 2019. But now it seems that Daily Star readers are also critical of the former TV star's attempts at entering the podcast market. Responding to our tweet about the podcast, one listener on Twitter wrote, "It has the potential to enlighten those on how deeply narcissistic she is and shine a light on the fact that she has no talent, nor work ethic, to go along with her ambitions. It also gives her a forum to get into more trouble." Another wrote, "I just read that there will be 12 episodes in the series. Mother of God. Why is she inflicting this torture on us?